Okay, in this training mission, we are going to use laser guided bombs to take out targets at an airport complex right in front of us here. You can see the triangle or the diamond steer point right in the center of the complex. We'll change this color here. The blue diamond right in the center. The first thing we need to do is go into air to ground to load the targeting pod into the MFD. You can do this in one of three ways. Easiest way is upfront control panel, which is the air to ground button, or you can hit the backspace key on the keyboard, or actually the easiest way is it should be mapped on your HOTUS. You'll notice when we do this, it changes both MFDs. The left MFD is the sensor of interest right now, and that is the typical CCRP type MFD. The right one is your SMS page. Now, to bring up the targeting pod, you need to click the OSB 14 where it says weapons. You need to hit that twice. Once brings it to this page, twice brings it back to this page where you can select TGP. On the left here, the 19th button. When you select that, now the targeting display is displayed. The next thing we need to do is arm our laser. The buttons here on the left front control panel. Make sure that's up and it's armed. Also, we already are armed, and that happens when you fence in. You can see it in the HUD. ARM is listed. In this case, when we switched into air to ground, it automatically selected the correct left MFD. However, sometimes it may be in a different view, such as this view. And if it is, you use the left square bracket to switch between views. You use the F2 button to switch between the different air to ground modes. As you can see, it's changed from GMT to C to GM. You can also do this with your HOTUS. Some people have that set up, but you want to be in GM mode. You can also do all of this with clicking the buttons on the MFDs. To switch, you switch that mode above the button above GM, and now you'll see your selections on the right: GM, GMT, and C. If you switch the button, it will switch it to that. Now you'll see we're in GMT. We want to be in GM, so we switch that button and you hit GM. Now, whatever mode you're in, it's in the underneath the top left first USB button, OSB button. The next thing, you want to make sure you're about 20-mile range, and you do this with either the buttons around the MFD. We're in 40 now. You can select it down to 20. This one goes up, and this one brings it down. We want to be in 20. You can also do that by just slewing your cursors up on your HOTUS. And if you use the keyboard, you just hit F3 and F4. F4 brings it up and F3 brings it down. So we want to be at 20, and we're there now. The next thing you want to do is zoom in on your left MFD. Now, I have a pinky button that does that on my HOTUS, but we'll use the buttons on the OSB in this case. It's the button above norm. When you click that, it's going to go into expand it the first time. You click it again to go into DBS1, and you want to be in DBS2, so you switch it again. Now you'll notice it takes a while for the scan to come into view. It's going to take a few scans before the radar will paint the picture, so be patient. Now you can see the entire airport complex. Use your cursors to move to an overall area of interest, but don't target designate yet. Switch your sensor of interest to your right MFD. This will be confirmed by the light green box around the right MFD screen. Now you can fine-tune your targets, but be careful when slewing the cursors before ground stabilizing. Until you ground stabilize or target designate, the cursors are very sensitive and you can easily move them off the entire area and lose your SA. Once you have ground stabilized, you will see a target box with the word area under it. Now you can slew the cursors with more control and wide swings without going off the screen. Find the target of your choice and target designate again to lock the target. Now a target box will appear with the text point under it, indicating that the target is now locked. Now direct your attention to the HUD and fly the vertical steer line using standard CCRP attack protocol. As you approach the target, a small horizontal line marches down the vertical steering line as a cue that you are approaching loft range from the target. When this occurs, a circle will begin flashing in the HUD. Push and hold your pickle button. After a couple of flashes, the horizontal line will start descending from the top of the vertical steering line a second time. It is now your release cue. When it hits the flight path marker the second time, it will trigger a bomb release, and you should hear it.